Rahaf.
Bassel.
If only they knew
Finally.
the ordeal we faced to actually sit with each other. We actually kind of had a pre-podcast before this session, so
And it's been going on for years.
for years, yeah. But
Yeah.
it all got together right outside at KCAL, where we have these two good coffees. Shout out to KCAL. They are not sponsoring this podcast, but if
No,
they
but
do
they
want
should.
to, they probably should, because we're talking about health, mental health.
Mental health. Yeah.
Anyway, so Rob, it's awesome having you.
Same,
I know
same.
we've been talking for a long time to actually do this podcast together. I've known you for quite some time. You became known to me through my work at Rising Giants. You've guested on a few shows of ours. I saw you again on Anas' show. We've been chatting for a while. So maybe in just a few words.
A nice build-up to this moment.
Yes, it is. Because it all comes together. So maybe in a few words, tell us just a quick, like, who you are and what you do and why you love what you do.
The easiest answer, the easiest question to answer is what I do.
Right.
But who am I? Oh, God, it's going to take us...
That's another podcast.
Another podcast. It's so let's start with what I do, right? I'm the founder of Raise Your Mental Health. So my mission is to help people be emotionally free. So what does that mean? It means I raise awareness on mental health.
Cool.
I help people to be themselves authentically, means live your life in an authentic way, even if that means to sit with your pain, express your emotions, take care of your mental health, do things in a way where people don't understand why you're doing it the way you are. Doesn't matter. So I do coaching, I do trainings, workshops, I speak. There's a book coming, all of it just to help people. It's like giving them permission.
Yeah.
Permission to live. How does it look like? It's different from one person to another. But be heart-centered in companies, in your own business, with your family, in your friends. Be heart-centered. There's no shame in that.
Yeah. Heart-centered. I like that.
Heart-centered has been or has become the theme of everything that I do. لأنه I'm very heart-centered.
Yeah.
And for so long, I have been shamed for being heart-centered. Rahaf, you're too sensitive.
That's
Rahaf,
interesting.
شد حيلك. Rahaf, I don't know. Why? Everything we do should come from a place where your heart and your mind are aligned. And it affects your mental health. Eventually, it's going to affect it.
What's interesting is... there's this, a lot of men try to kind of like focus so much on the logical, on the, just being a man about things. You know what I mean? Whatever that might mean.
What is a man, ya Bassel?
What is a man? Yeah. But I feel like for me, I do have a lot of emotion attached to my character. You know what I mean?
Can I just...
Yeah, please, of course.
You said it in a way like, I too have emotions. Of course you do.
Well,
of course you do. Men have emotions just as women, just as kids and teenagers. We all have emotions.
I always look at it this. So I even when I talk to like team members or whatever it is, I always like to balance two things. One is your aspirational side and your functional side. And when I say aspirational, I mean, what are your dreams? How, what do you want to achieve? That kind of stuff. And dream big. Because a lot of people say, like, you're a dreamer, you're this, you're that. But no, actually being a dreamer is a great thing because that's your goal, that's your objective. And then the functional side is how you're going to get to your goal and your objectives. Okay, so I digress a little bit. Obviously, I want to talk to you because I think it's a topic I personally am very interested in it. And I mean, people on this podcast may have heard that I just shouted somebody to come in, and that's my buddy Bashar. But because Bashar is very much into mental health as well, and he talks to me a lot about it and kind of encourages me to be more involved.
He has been active.
So I was like, okay, well, what would that journey kind of look like? I've never actually sat with someone and talked to them about mental health and about myself and kind of like, I don't know if I'm going to go through a session right now, but I want to know from you, what got you into this? Obviously, it takes a certain type of person to really believe that they can be good at this. It's a passion, obviously, because it's very, like you said,
it's led
by
personal.
heart.
Yeah.
So what was it for you that kind of like propelled you into this world?
Okay,
and just to digress,
yeah.
There are certain things I know about you because you told me before the podcast. So I will probably also ask about those things, and then maybe we extrapolate from these concepts as well. Sorry, go on.
So it started from a very personal place. But let's put it that way, is that no matter what problem or a challenge someone might come to me with, most likely I was in their shoes one way or another. I've been through a lot. I've seen it all. I lost my dad to suicide. I attempted suicide 3 times. My mom was depressed and she was abusive. My brother used to be a drug addict, toxic relationships.
Oh my God.
All of it.
It's
And
a
yet
lot.
I could not only see the light, look what I am. And I say it in a very proud tone because I always say it, I was able to be where I am right now, running 2 businesses on mental health, helping a lot of people, raising awareness, and genuinely feeling light. Okay, anyone can do it. But
Yeah.
is it easy? It's not easy. Will it be painful? It's going to be painful a lot because you will have to meet your shadow and your light, which means you're going to meet the things that you don't like about yourself, the baggage that you have been carrying for so long, or the baggage that have been given to you. And it's not your responsibility to carry them, but it is yours to let go of them.
Yeah.
Going back to what you said about men being problem solvers, technical, and very programmatic in the way they think, because they have been conditioned to be like that. من صغرهم, from childhood, you are the man of this house. رجال البيت. طب what does رجال البيت mean? In our culture, which is in the Middle East, رجال البيت means the protector, the provider. He should be always on the macho side, which is defined wrong by our society and culture and generations.
Yeah.
So if you are the man now, بتقلي, I haven't cried for years, that's because your ancestors haven't cried for years.
Oh, okay.
And it has been running through the family. It's just a tradition, for example. So you either make a choice that I'm Bassel and it ends with me. I will do things differently. I will go to therapy. I'll teach my kids how to be themselves, to express their emotions, prioritize self-care. I don't care what my parents think or my grandparents think, but now it's time to live differently. That is the missing link now, if you ask me. You know?
Interesting.
And it's not just on men. I know that we drifted a lot. We can come back to the topic, but it's not just men. So if, for example, I'm just going to give you as an example, you go and say, I want to go to therapy. Your wife has to be supportive, regardless if she likes it or not, or she agrees with it or not. That's another missing link in our society. Women, I don't know why, they feel threatened when men want to take care of themselves. You want to go to a therapist? Why? Is something missing here? Have I done something wrong? Why are you projecting? Let the man be. So, I could talk for hours about this.
This is so interesting. I feel like this podcast cannot be done in an hour. I feel like we need to have like 3 hours of this.
Season 1, Season 2, Season 3. Let's go.
Okay, so I guess a place to start maybe is I guess with you. So, there's a lot to unpack from what you said. So, first of all, let's talk about your experience.
Okay.
And you were you just mentioned a series of really dark things that you went through. Okay.
Lightly.
yeah. Just like you just brushed off it, like all of these things. So talk to me about, and this is something I think I don't think about for myself, but I mean, I wonder what gets a person to that state. So you talked about your dad and your dad losing your dad, and you just said now that you also attempted.
Yeah.
So talk to me about that, if you don't mind, like kind of from your perspective, how it was, and maybe we can unpack that a little bit.
Yeah, of course. Which part do you want? The dad part or my
Yeah.
part?
I guess because obviously it probably is rooted from that, right? So
yeah. So as far as my dad's suicide is concerned, now I understand why he did it. Back then, I used to look at it as a selfish act, like how dare he kill himself and leave me alone, and how dare he. So I carried a lot of anger, a lot of pain. I was shocked. I was in denial, all of it. And then slowly and gradually, when I started to see things from his perspective, maybe in a different intensity, what
what do
happens?
you think drove him to it? Like what's...
So many things. I can speak for myself and for all the men that I have worked with. It's not a combination. It's things piled up, unresolved issues, lack of support from their community or their families or whatever, and the illusion or the assumption that I have to get through this on my own. I am alone in this. I have no support. Or, what would people say? If my daughter sees me as her hero, how can I go to her and say, I'm not doing well, financially, emotionally, whatever it is? La. The easier thing is to just hide, clean
Sweep
under the rug and all of that, and just when the pain gets too much and when your mind gets too loud, and it gets really, really loud sometimes, that's when someone, it's just a second, Bassel, 1 second, and you would be, let's do it.
Wow.
And for men, their suicide attempts are successful from the first attempt, women third and above. So when a man reaches the point to say, that's it, I'm done with life, he's done with the pain of living life.
Is it depression? Does that
Of course, it's going to be depression, suicide, what is it called? But yeah, so you have depression. You have also the loneliness. Loneliness play a big role. It's related, but it could be also separate.
I mean, it's interesting that somebody can be driven to a point that says, like, I just don't want to live anymore, you know? And that's I guess, something you experience,
because
right?
You have your self-image about the way you see yourself. You look in the mirror, you might not like the person you're seeing. A failure, he failed his family. I'm just giving my dad as an example, and I'm just trying to assume what he might have thought.
Right.
I failed my family, I failed my kids, I'm a divorced man, loved the wrong woman, maybe. I used to run a successful business, look where I am now, I barely can afford this. Oof, what am I doing? People are hiring graduates. I'm an old man now.
How old was he?
ما كان كبير. He was, I think, in his 50s.
In his 50s.
But back then, I don't know, he would always come up with those things or stories like, Baba, they're hiring fresh graduates or younger people or all of it. And he used to be in a very successful industry, which is advertising and marketing and all of it. So I believe it was just a story he chose to tell himself. Plus the lack of awareness. We didn't have any mental health awareness back then. So I don't know anything about that. So imagine him going to his friend and say, I'm feeling depressed, I'm feeling lonely, I'm feeling a failure. Man up, come on. No wife to support. There's no culture of mental health support. There's no this understanding that if you're going through a tough time, it's okay, man. You're not alone in this. We're all humans. We all go through ups and downs. No, there's more expectations, more demands. Why aren't you delivering? Why aren't you doing this? What's going on?
Yeah. I get it. I mean,
that's on the human side. What about the bills and expenses and the things that are automated? Rent, expenses, bills, whatever it is. So I'm 100% sure he was in a place where I'm cornered.
I think also with men, there's, like you said, there's a lot of expectations to deliver, to be the provider, to be all of these things. And if you feel, and it might not be true, but if you feel that you're not there yet, I guess that could really, really mess with you, really mess with your mental health. And I think, like you said, the voices in your head get louder and louder, and it drowns out your good thoughts, and you feel like you have to do something about it. Now, some people try to fix it and get out of it, and they start doing changes in their life. And some people, might take a darker road. And I get it. I don't think it's a very foreign story to people. It's
very common.
In fact, I think it's very relatable.
It's very common. It's just not something we talk about as we should.
Yeah.
It's not really. Yes, there are so many people now raising awareness about mental health. Thank you, guys. But what are you doing exactly about it? When that's another topic. But for example, this is a safe space. You can come and share your stories and be yourself and talk about what's going on in your life. Once someone does, you can see that someone is judging that person. That's not a safe space anymore. What you just taught that person is that it's not okay for him to come out and talk about something. There's no such thing as a safe space. What exactly are you doing? So to be very honest and to give things credit when it's due, it's not just the man's fault for not speaking up. It's all of our faults. It's all of our responsibilities, from the company that he works at or his, to the family, parents, direct spouse, kids, friends, community, all of it. Are we providing him a good support system for him to actually say, you know what, today I don't feel like being strong. I really want to have a moment of vulnerability,
Yeah.
a moment of weakness. Who understands that now? La, you have to educate those people and those people and those people and those people as if you're preparing all of them to support that man.
Yeah, yeah. Because sometimes with men, I guess we always feel that, especially I think with men who are married and have kids, it quadruples, because you have to be there for my kids, for my wife, for my family, for my friends.
Most of the men I work
you know?
with, one-on-one coaching, my wife doesn't know about this. I have never shared this with my wife. No one knows about it.
Interesting.
Why? And it really breaks my heart. I've never said that. It breaks my heart. تخيل, you don't have anyone to confide in. Your wife.
Yeah.
Why? What if she thinks
Less
differently
of
about
me,
me?
yeah.
What if she thinks less of me? I know she loves me, but what if she didn't understand? And he would be crying, and I would look at him, oh, come on. But I get it.
I also get that too, right? I get that you don't want your wife to see you weaker. You know what I mean? Like you want your wife to always
So
see you
let's
strong
unpack that.
and powerful and
Why?
leading.
Why
It's
are
culture
we-
though, right?
It is.
I think I don't know.
But we go back to it ends with us, and it really should end with us. You're a dad. So imagine, what kind of a world do you want to leave for your daughter, صح?
And son.
And
Yeah.
صاروا
Yeah.
اثنين؟
So,
Oh my
I got
God,
a boy.
I'm so bad. ألف مبروك.
No.
But you
well,
know
the
what I
daughter
mean?
is the new one. The son is the older, but yeah.
But you know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm very
no.
conscious of that, by the way. Like, I'm very conscious of, how I act around him because he will get some of that from me.
And your daughter.
And my
they
daughter,
both have to
absolutely,
learn that
yeah.
Baba can cry sometimes
Yeah.
because he's not really feeling well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Baba can have a bad
days.
day.
Yeah.
We
Also, how I treat my wife in front of them, I think is important. I
Definitely.
mean, that's their mom, obviously.
Baba can
because I
have
remember when my
hobbies.
parents used to fight when I was young, I used to hate it, and so I don't want that for them. I guess, I mean,
when was the last time you cried?
I don't know. I don't remember. There must be. I'm not. I don't mind crying. You know what I mean? Like
I don't mind crying. It's as if I don't mind going to a concert.
It's not a big thing for me. Like I feel like I'm okay with showing my emotions.
Okay.
يعني
So when was the last time?
I can't think of the situation now.
So let's put it that way. When you're feeling overwhelmed, what do? Emotionally overwhelmed.
Like at work or just in life.
Emotional overwhelmed.
It's a good question. I think I have things that I do that I feel make me forget about things. You know what I mean? Whether it's I run, for example, I cycle, I eat. I love food so much. Although I know that's an unhealthy way to do it, the food part.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, so I'm trying to work on that. I like birds and pet shops. So,
okay.
so this is thinking
So
me and my son, like,
it's a mix between physical activity.
Yeah, but I'm also good at, I mean,
Have you tried therapy?
I have not tried therapy, and I want to. And my wife knows, by the way. I tell her something like, I feel like I want to try therapy. She's like, you should. You really should, actually. Because, sometimes I'm good at self-diagnosing, but I don't know if it's the right thing. Like, I know, for example, like me and Bashar would be talking, and I'd tell him all these things, but I know what the source is. It's this. It's my job. It's, like, I know that's what's... like the burden that I carry, you know what I mean? Like that's
Most of the time, just like
maybe not my job. I don't know.
Spoiler alert: the source is not the source you think it is.
I figured that too, because even post, I was telling you earlier that I just left my job. I'm starting something else. Even there, like I wasn't fully like. Free, you know what I mean? Like, I guess I'm not fully free. I feel lighter for sure, because, obviously that's what happens when you leave an old life and start a new one. But also, I go back to, when I was telling you earlier about how men tend to either go dark or try to change. And I think I'm going through change now. You know what I mean?
Why can't you go to darkness and change?
Because I think I was in darkness and I didn't like it.
How do you define darkness?
drowning
What
in
do you
my
mean?
thoughts. You know what I mean? Like
Okay.
just too many thoughts. I was like, I don't like this. This isn't me. You know what I mean? Like, well, it is me. I can hear myself. But I knew that there was a problem,
Yeah.
and I knew if I delve deeper into that problem, I don't like who I am. You know what I mean? And it's important for me to like who I am. Like it's important for me to look at myself and like who I become. And I run
But
this
here's the
test.
thing. It's not, if I may.
Sure, yeah, yeah.
I get really like,
I feel like this is turning into
it's like,
a session.
I really,
But Charlotte, what the hell's happening,
but
man?
seriously, because I feel like if someone is listening, they're going to resonate with what you're saying.
Yeah,
what you
yeah,
just
yeah.
said. It's
I don't wanna
like,
mess anybody
I don't
up,
like
by the
who
way.
I am.
Just-
It's not who you are that you don't like. There's
Yeah.
parts of you
Yeah.
that you don't want to bring to light anymore.
Yeah.
Which is the part that I was telling you about earlier about my anger issues
yeah.
years and years before. There was a part of me that I didn't like about that because why should I throw tantrums at people that have nothing to do with why I'm feeling angry? Let's go and deal with anger itself. And anger came from grief and mom and all of it. Nothing about this. But that was my only outlet
Yeah.
to express whatever it is that was.
Right.
When
Yeah.
it was something related to family and me personally, feeling like a failure, feeling like this and this and that.
Right.
What I'm trying to say is, you like yourself. Of course you do. You're a great husband, you're a great father, a friend, business owner, whatever it is. There has to be a list of the things you love about yourself. There is a part of you that maybe overthinks, maybe tells you to go and have a bag of chips when you're feeling stressed instead of doing something healthy about it. Maybe it's the part of you that goes to nap,
Deliveroo.
whatever it is.
Yeah.
That part is in pain. And it's
Yeah.
coming from a long time ago, most likely
Childhood.
6 years, 7 years,
Yeah, like,
whatever it is.
sometimes I do want to open. Like I ask myself, do you want to open that Pandora's
I
box?
would
or
suggest
you know?
do that. Go to the darkness, open Pandora's box, sit in the pain, face it, punch it, and then say, thank you for all the lessons.
Damn.
Whoosh, and then you're going to feel the light. And I don't say that lightly.
That's so interesting.
I know it's going to be one hell of a ride. And you're going to feel like, I want to quit. What the F am I doing? But
Part of me-
it's worth it.
So part of me, and I don't know, again, this helps me, but sometimes I resort to religion to kind of help me out. And not from a spiritual perspective, but more from a, like, what's going on in this world? Like, and how can I figure it out? You know what I mean? So, some of my thoughts are, look, if there's a creator to the world, and this creator created me, so he must know me better than I know myself or whatever, right? Just like, you know, if you have an iPhone, you know, it's probably, you got to take it back to the maker to fix it because they know they made it, right? So I was like, okay, so fine. If that's true, then where do I look? And so a part of me resorts to religion, i.e., like the Quran, for example, and I delve into decoding it in a way to kind of extrapolate lessons for me that give me ease and guidance, if you will, you know? That's one thing that I do. And it does help. It does.
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
I like that because there are so many things that we do in mindfulness is also part of religion.
Yeah.
I'm not a religious person, but I get it. But here's the thing. For example, if a Muslim man gets suicidal thoughts or acts and dies by suicide, people would say because he lacks religion.
Right. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
lacks faith.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I just wanted to highlight that. It has nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
Pain is pain.
Yeah.
Pain is universal.
Right.
Regardless of who you worship, what's your religion.
Yeah. I don't
But
discount that
religion
at all.
can
Absolutely. I agree.
definitely help in people who
No, but I
believe in
agree with
it.
you.
I like it.
I think that's the other side. Is that there's this side and there's the other side which I don't do, which is what you're saying. Explore the darkness, get into it. I don't know. Maybe there's a fear, or maybe there's a lack of time, or maybe there's. Do I really want to go there? Like, you know, or
Yeah, it's the two,
You know-
the last two parts.
I think it's fear. I mean, I do.
Fear and
yeah.
the thought of,
Yeah,
now,
yeah,
do I really want to go there?
And I acknowledge that, and that's a good thing
Yeah,
about
yeah.
me is that I acknowledge a lot of things about myself, and I know what they are, and I know that what I'm not saying. I'm sure if I sit with someone, they're like, oh fuck, I don't know this about myself, but no, I know that fear plays a big role. Like I do, I know it's a big role. I know that
What's the worst thing that could happen?
I don't know.
بينفتح Pandora's
Like,
box.
how
And
much
then-
can it mess
and
with my
then-
head is my question, you know? Like, is
Or
it-
how much is going to really clear my head?
yeah, yeah. Look, everybody I spoke
Have you
to
done
really...
boxing?
Yes, actually.
him.
Yeah.
When you do boxing, you're always going to think, when is the punch coming? When is the punch coming? طب work on your defense, work on your punch
Yeah.
and jabs and all of it. Maybe you won't be punched.
Yeah.
What is the worst thing that could happen? نحن كمان we are used to, because of our parents, at least my parents, I don't know about yours, but I'm assuming, we are always trained to think of the worst case scenario.
Yeah,
You have to
obviously,
always
as
be
Arabs,
prepared for the worst case.
war-torn countries. Yeah, of course.
What if this happened? What if this happened? What if this? So خلاص, you're
شهادتك
always...
لازم بإيدك. You know,
Always.
like, of course, yeah.
So you're until like now, you're always on
Man,
the
don't quit your job. Always stay in your job.
stability and security
Yeah,
and
of
all
course,
of it. تجوزي حدا بيحبك ما تتجوزي حدا بتحبي. Something like this. Always have someone like backup. لا. We don't want to live in danger anymore because the world is not dangerous.
Yeah.
Open Pandora's box. We go back. Oof, I love talking to you. But open Pandora's box.
Yeah.
It's going to be messy. It's going to be painful. You're going to hate it. And then you're going to love it and thank it.
Yes.
These are my disclaimers. But here's the questions I would invite you to ask. Would you like to have a healthier and a happier marriage?
Yeah.
The answer is going to
yeah.
be yes.
Yeah.
Would you like to have more money without the thought that I need to work hard, I need to work longer hours or whatever? Yes, because abundance at the end of the day, it's going to come from a belief.
Yeah.
Would you like to have healthier friendships that you can rely on, steady friendships, not just let's hang out friendships? The answer is going to be yes. Would you like to love and accept all parts of yourself, even or especially the ones that are still work in progress? Pandora's box.
Yeah. I think
Pandora's box.
there's a lot of things I'm thinking about now that I could see about myself that I need to sort this out. You know what I mean? Like I get a lot of thoughts.
Instead of
it's funny
looking
how
at it
this
as
conversation is going.
But instead of looking at it of such a man's behavior, see, I love you, thank you. But instead of saying to yourself, I need to sort this out, as if it's a problem to be solved.
Yeah.
ليه مش إنه how can I better take care of myself today?
Yeah.
What do I need to do to be a better Bassel for myself, for my wife, and for my kids, and for the people I work with?
It's funny because I do think that way. I think it's very important to keep healthy relationships of the people around you. It's very important for me with my wife and my kids.
But the healthiest relationship you should start with is the one you have with yourself.
Yeah.
And that's going to reflect on
And it's the most
every other
neglected.
relationship. But that's what I'm saying. It's the most neglected. It's like, let's give you an example of going grocery shopping. We go, I'm just going to pick one item, right? And we come back, so much heavy stuff. That's how we deal with our emotions and baggages and traumas. We say that, you know what, it's just a one bad day. It's okay. Until you reach a point where all of a sudden you're crying because I don't know why, you're throwing tantrums, you are snapping at people, you're sabotaging your relationships and your work and your money and all of it, and you really hate yourself, like you are so good in hating yourself. Why? Because you decided not to get a trolley or not to really get what you wanted to get from the first place.
You know,
so what we do or what therapy does is that it comes, لا عنك. We help with the baggage, or the therapist would help with the baggage. Let's put it down. Okay, let's declutter. What serves you? What doesn't serve you? What do you still need? What is it that you don't need? Okay, what are we shopping now?
Yeah.
What do you need? Coping skills. Mindfulness, this, that, emotional regulation. Amazing. Yes, this is what therapy is.
You know, it's interesting because what you're saying resonates a lot. Maybe last year, like maybe mid to end last year, I started realizing that because of the stresses that I was going through at work and, just like generally, I would say like a lot of it has to come from work, but like I know what you're saying, it goes deeper than that. But I started realizing that it started affecting who I was in terms of like socially. So like I started becoming more reserved, less going out. And
isolated.
Even some friends of mine were telling me like, man, you've changed. Like you're not who you used to be, where you were so outgoing. You'd always like want to go out. And obviously I have kids and stuff like that. So I'm not only am I exhausted at work, but I come back home and I want to spend time with the kids. I love my kids, of course, but by the time it's 7:30, I'm like, I'm destroyed. I don't want to see anyone. So I think any parent would relate to this. But another thing is also, I felt like I had a shorter fuse. You know what I mean? Like I'd get angrier quicker. And I'm a guy who doesn't get angry, you know what I mean? So when I started seeing these things about myself, and that's what I was telling you, like I'm going to this area where I don't like it's not me, you know?
So, who are you?
That's yeah.
That's the question I avoided at the beginning of the interview.
I don't know.
Now it's back at you.
No, but I mean, I'm sure we can unpack me, but
Who
what I'm
are
sa-
you, or
what I'm s-
who is the version of you that you would like to live with
I
for
don't
the
know
rest
how
of
I
your
can,
life?
how can answer that like in a very I mean, I'm in touch with myself. You know what I mean? Like,
Okay.
there's a saying, and I don't want to butcher it, but it's not religious. It sounds religious, but it's not. رحم الله امرئ عرف قدر نفسه.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
and I don't know how to translate that in English. I guess just know your limitations. I guess
Are there any?
in a sense, it's not limitations. It's almost like just
But the
really.
question was, who are you, or who is Bassel that you would like to live with for the rest of your life? Instead of focusing on what you don't like. You see what I did there?
What I'm trying to say is I try to. You're right. I look at the things that I don't like, and I thought like I don't like this. I gotta make a change. You know what I mean? And I think one of the decisions was I gotta change my livelihood, my job. You know, like I gotta change that. Because that's really consuming so much of me. You know, so much of me. And Bashar knows. I mean, he's
Ya Allah,
lived it
I'm
with
holding
me.
back.
Yeah. I feel like this is gonna explode into something. Anyway,
Yeah.
so that's one. Two is, and it's interesting questions. Who am I? God damn, we're gonna have to do part 2 of this podcast. I don't know. I've never answered that question, so I don't know how to put it into words. You know what I mean?
Just do your
I know that
best.
I put like layers for myself. You know, like important layers, like mentally, physically, spiritually, and these 3 things need to always coexist. You know what I mean?
Okay.
To make a better me. Does that make sense? I don't know. Like, I don't have a proposition to who I am, but
Reflect on it.
These are the 3 things.
Reflect on it. It's gonna take you weeks, if not months.
Hey,
and
next
then you're
week,
gonna call me and
what
say,
are you doing next week? Do you want to do another episode of this
Please, yes.
podcast? I feel like we're gonna do
Vote
a series.
yes or no. Would you like a second?
I feel like we should do.
Yeah. Let's
me,
do that.
live for like a series. Anyway,
But yeah, let's do
I'm
it.
loving the idea, but I see what you're saying. I think you're asking me challenging questions, and as you can see, I don't have clear
You're
answers.
sweating.
I feel like, hey man, you said there's no AC in this room. What's going on?
But yeah.
Sorry.
I
go on.
only ask that because the more you focus, and it's awareness is one thing.
Yeah.
Which means I'm 100% aware of the things that needs improvement, anger, maybe more self-reflection, maybe this or whatever it is. We need awareness in that area. Here are my shadows, here are my darkness, whatever it is. But also there's accountability and action. What am I going to do about it? The more you focus on the things that you're lacking or the things that needs to be improved, okay, your mind is going to say, aha, you see, we don't like ourselves. And it's going to come and remind you of every situation, at every situation. For example, in a bad meeting, in a bad relationship, with a conversation with your wife, for example, this voice is going to come remind you of why you don't like yourself or the things that you wanted to change. Yeah, that's not going to happen. See? They're going to use the triggers against you. While when you choose that, you know what, I need to work on this part of my personality or this part of my character, amazing, because this is the outcome that I would like to see in 2 years or 3 years or whatever. Your mind's going to remind you of that. You're a work in progress. You're doing your best. It's okay.
Yeah.
This is a slip. It's fine. You have this one to support you or whatever it is. Your mind can be, I'm 100% aware that this is going to sound cliche, but I'm a walking proof. Everyone I've heard go to therapy is a walking proof, is that your mind is either your best friend, worst enemy. You pick. You have to pick.
Yeah.
Who are you feeding the most?
Yeah, no. So I feel like sometimes I do have a schizophrenic mind. Sometimes
We all
being
do.
my friend,
We
and sometimes
all
being my
do.
enemy.
I name them. I give them names.
Like, please shut up. Can you just?
Who am I
shut up?
talking to right now? Daisy, not now.
No, sometimes I have a full-on conversation with myself.
Same.
Yeah, in the car, just me.
So we're all the same.
Yeah,
We're all the same. Well, what are you going to do with that voice? Are you going to listen to it when it's sabotaging you or when it's criticizing you? bullying you. We have a really loud bully in our head.
We do, and I am my own worst critic. I
There you
always say
go.
this about myself.
There you go.
Like I'm so hard on myself. كتير.
Not surprised, yeah.
Always and always also I don't give myself credit.
Of course.
Ever.
It comes with the package.
You know. Damn, I feel like I do have a lot to talk about.
But here's the thing. إذا بشار قاعد محلي,
Yeah.
all right? Would you treat him or talk to him the way you talk to yourself? Would you be as pushy, as bully, as critical?
No, probably not.
Why do you do that to yourself?
Yeah, it's a good question.
Something for everyone to reflect
don't know.
on. Why would you act as your own worst enemy and someone else's best friend? I call that hypocrisy.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean,
I am.
you know?
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. Maybe because I feel like I shouldn't unload my shit on others. You know what I
You're
mean?
unloading it to yourself. So you're just,
Yeah.
the shit is just going.
No, I'm
In a
definitely.
In a
Look,
cycle.
I'm seeing it, and you're saying it, and I'm definitely. What do you call it? Self-hate? No, not self-hate, but self-sabotage. I guess you'd call
Hmm.
it self-sabotage. Yeah, I think 100%. Like even when I get something that I really want, the moments of joy are so short-lived.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like because my
You're
mind's
a
telling me like.
typical client profile, by the way. I'm just saying.
Great. You know, I thought I was gonna be fine, but you know what happens with my mind? It's like, okay, you got it, yay!
What's
Back-
next?
You know, back to defense mode because you might lose this. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
And so don't get too happy. Manage your expectation. You know what I mean? Like all these things.
Yeah.
So I self-sabotage for sure. Even when I'm on holiday, you know, my mind can't just relax. It can be like, cool. Let's all of us, me, my enemy, my friend, all of us, the three of us, you know, we don't give ourselves a break.
Name
you
them.
know?
Name
Yeah, I
the-
should probably
na-
give them a
then
break.
you start to name and shame.
Yeah, I should. Sometimes I totally just ignore. You know what I mean? Like,
But it's only gonna get louder.
Yeah.
And I really don't want to be that person, but I would be. Like it's gonna get louder. So it's time to just
Yeah.
deal with it. Until therapy is no longer, I was telling you, like until therapy is no longer a place you go to for fixing things. It becomes
Just
like a
maintenance and-
massage. I call it like a massage for my heart or for my soul. I just go to learn something new about me, to give credit for myself for doing some work or to learn something about other people. But therapy is a beautiful place to be in. It's gonna hurt.
yeah,
Definitely, if you're carrying so much pain and there are old wounds, of course it's gonna be painful. But therapy can also be like your Disneyland. You know, but
Yeah.
I would love if there's just one thing. I'm pretty sure there are much more, but just one thing. Therapy is for everyone.
yeah.
It's the ultimate self-love act.
It's definitely
Therapy.
something I've
But just
always
make sure you
wanted to do.
you get to work with the right therapist.
Yeah.
That's
I guess
the
we found
icky
her.
part.
So she's right here. She was almost
Hello.
telling us that.
But that's the
I
icky
want my
part.
friends to hear this actually, like just to see the uncomfortable situation I'm in right
You should
now.
see how sweaty he is right now.
You know what's interesting is
حتى بشار قرب شوي.
yeah, we got an audience. I think what's interesting is, you know, I think we all think about it, and I think it's become more accepted.
Yeah.
As in, like, the taboo on it is not as big anymore. Like, and I even talk to my guy friends who go to therapy and stuff like that. You know, I was saying, even my wife, like, I talked to her about it, and she said, no, she is very encouraging of it, you know?
As every wife should be.
Yeah, no, she definitely is. And she said, why not? Like, why not?
So,
There's nothing wrong
hats
with
off
it.
to your wife.
Yeah, she always tells me there's nothing wrong with it. You should definitely do it. Because we're very open. Like, we talk a lot about everything, you know?
Nice.
Yeah. Like, she's definitely like my friend first, you know? But it's important because I think now when you're talking to me, I feel like, oh, I'm thinking of my friends, you know, like they should probably hear this. Like, I wonder how they would react if they were in my position right now, like talking
It
to
really
you,
depends
you know?
where are they in life. They will either say,
I feel like you should go to
"Al-Haki Fadi,"
Jordan.
resistance,
I feel all Jordan needs
denial.
therapy.
Let's do that. Let's do
He'll
that.
have a lot of clients in Jordan.
But they're, high resistance or denial, nothing is wrong.
Yeah.
Or, interesting.
Yeah. Look, it's definitely interesting to find, like, one test I do with myself. I don't know. You're the professional here, not me. But like, I always ask, what would the 13-year-old me think about me today? You know what I mean? Like, would he be happy? Would he be disappointed? And if I feel like he's going more in the disappointed place, okay, there's shit I need to fix about
How do you
myself,
know?
you know? You know, I've never felt like I've disconnected from my childhood. As the like, I'm still the same person. I just became older.
That's what we call inner
know?
child.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you brought it up. But how do you know that the 13-year-old is disappointed?
Because because he's me, and I guess it's me. If I'm shit, I don't disappoint myself or not, but because I feel like, and a lot of people, I talk to my friends about this. I have a group of guys who are, we're happy to talk about stuff like this, it's interesting how each person views their past, themselves.
Yeah.
I feel like I've never I feel like I've always been a continuous person. You know what I mean? ما بحس إنه this is me before or after.
Okay.
The only maybe point of absolute change was having kids. Like that was the biggest point of change.
So you're like the gift that keeps on giving.
To a therapist?
As you. It's like a garden that keeps on growing.
Yeah.
And
giving.
Giving.
Because when I look at myself, for example, at 20 or at 25, I'm 40 today. So obviously I'm going through a lot of existential crisis.
Best time for therapy.
Best time for therapy, I think. I totally agree. You'd have a lot of fun with me. Even my 13-year-old Safar, I have like vivid memories of me doing the most mundane things at school or whatever. So I've never disconnected from who I am, as a child, as an adult, as a dad, as a husband, like I've never disconnected with who I am. And I've always recognized change or evolution or whatever within me. You know what I mean? So that's why I guess it was hard for me to answer who I am, but maybe because it's hard for me. I've never put it into words. You know what I mean? But I've always had this tasaluh بيني وبين حالي, like whatever, like this. Help me out here. Like, what's the word? Reconciliation, I guess, between me and my inner self. That we are the same person, and
so you feel in harmony.
Harmony. That's a great way to. Yeah, exactly. I feel in harmony with myself.
I knew that 5 minutes ago, but I just wanted to.
I'm struggling with the words. You're not making me comfortable right now. So, so with these things, I feel like I'm centered there. You know what I mean? And also, I kind of know what kind of person I'd like to be, and it has nothing to do with work or blah blah blah. It has more to do with who you are. Like, how would they say? I'm using a lot of Arabic. معدن الشخص, like
a core.
The core of the person.
Yeah.
Like, am I there for the people who need me in the toughest times? You know what I mean? That's who I want to be as a person.
Reliable, trustworthy.
Okay. Yeah. And those are the people I want around me. That's the core group of people I want around me.
So community is important to you.
Yeah, I would say so. And of course, super important to instill that in my son because, for me, I guess that's the man in me. He's the next man, So, of course, my daughter, I look at her in a very different way. She's my little girl. And, like, I want to give her all the love and affection, everything that I want.
Why don't you do that to both? And he will be one hell of a man.
I'm very affectionate with my son. كتير. But I also recognize that I'm also his dad, and I need to instill some of those masculine qualities in him.
فتنا هلا بالfeminine and masculine energy. That's for another episode. But you know what I mean? Maybe this what you really want to do?
God, this is the best Bassel and I episode I've ever done. It's so good.
Worth the wait.
It's definitely worth the wait. God, if you told me earlier we were going to do this, I would have done this way earlier. You give me so much to think about, to be honest.
I'm expecting a WhatsApp message like, Rahaf, you messed with my mind. Here's what happened.
No, Rahaf, we have to do more of this, I think.
Let's do that.
No, but like recorded. I'm worried to do it because I feel like I don't want to air my grievances.
Why not?
I don't know.
Pave the way for others.
I guess, yeah, trailblazer.
Pave the way.
No, because when you ask me questions, like I actually paused, like maybe my mouth was going, but my mind was like, I don't know, like what the fuck, I don't know.
Error.
Yeah, like I got a lot of error messages, and I would like pause for a second and and kind of explore that. I wanted to ask about you, but you made it all about me now, so I don't know.
But I mean, yeah.
I feel.
Thank you for opening up.
Yeah, I feel like you really opened my mind towards doing therapy.
Amazing.
It's something I've been thinking about a lot, and And yeah, I think there's still a lot of things, and I feel it's a good time to do it. Like, I don't know if you get a lot of 40-year-old
My
men.
clients are like late 40s, 60s.
What would you say? Like, why would people start a little bit later? Why do you think that is? It's just existential, I guess, right?
I don't know. It could be one of those things, but it's also because most of them, if not all of them, they have built already their businesses. They're financially good, even financially free. They can buy whatever they want with the money. And I'm not happy. I don't know what to do for fun. I'm not happy with my wife. I don't know what to do. I'm not connected with my kids. What is this? I thought money is going to be the solution. Come to mama. Let's work on the emotions.
Let's talk, bro.
When was the last time you practiced? So what do you do for, this is a very common question, Sanan. What do you like to do for fun? Well, I used to go horse riding, for example. Amazing. When was the last time you did that? 1970. What? So that tells you everything you need to know about that man, which means you have been working so hard to build the empire or the kingdom or whatever. We appreciate your efforts, but this is not life at the end of the day. There's no point of being financially free if you're emotionally fucked up. I'm sorry for my French. You have to have both. If you want to enjoy life, this is a tool. The money is a tool.
Yeah.
But for a 55-year-old man to come to me and say, I don't know when was the last time I actually had a moment with my kid, no. Or I don't know when was the last time I had a vacation on my own, مش بس vacation, a weekend, يا أخي. Haram. I really it really breaks my heart. I've never said that out loud. لأنه you're supposed to be professional, but it breaks my heart. Why is your wife living her life? Why are you meeting her needs? We're not saying something is wrong with that, but there has to be a balance. If the wife is getting whatever she wants from you, and she's appreciating it, why are you making the assumption that you cannot do the same? Why should you come to me with a problem that says, Raf, I don't know how to tell to my wife that I need some quality time for myself? La, this has to be a ritual in the marriage. You both get me time separately and quality time. And for me, these are basics, but they're not basics.
It's interesting. I think about this a lot in terms of like money in a way is a measure for your well-being, and it's weird. I feel like that's actually the opposite. This rat race, this continuous chase, that if you're not making money, then you're not making it in life. I think that messes with a lot of men. I really think so, because I think it's an evolutionary thing. We evolved as hunter-gatherers. That was our thing. And so the man who gathered the most hunting
wins
he's the wealthiest.
But it's also a stressor for a lot of women as well. So money is an issue. Let's not hide behind. It is an issue, definitely.
I say, look, you're gonna die someday. None of this is gonna matter. I don't know if this is right, but
I know.
In my mind, I'm telling you,
it's an episode on its own. But here's the thing: I've had money issues. I know what I'm saying. It is a stressor.
Yeah.
But are you gonna keep looping around it until the money issue is resolved? Because it will be resolved one day or another. Do something for yourself. Do I have to be depressed with money issues? I can be someone who still prioritizes herself and worry about the money, or see how you can bring both together. But what's going on halla these days is that I'll figure out my money issues and then everything else. No.
Yeah. A lot of people do
that. The damage won't be repaired.
You're absolutely right. I know. I've had many conversations like
health
this.
issues.
Fuck everything. Let me sort out the money first.
Yeah. Why do men get heart attacks,
then,
panic attacks,
exactly.
suicides higher than women's? Why? Digestive issues, back issues. By the way, man, your muscles are not hurting because of the gym. It's because of the psychological problems, the emotional burden.
Yeah.
That's another episode. But yeah.
I just had an idea. Here's what we're going to do.
Okay.
We're going to do a series of episodes.
Okay.
And we're going to choose a topic for each one of these episodes.
Amazing.
And we're going to go
deep.
We're going to go deep into each one of those. Deal? We're going to do that.
Done.
I don't know if you're going to therapize me.
Get a room with an AC because you're going to sweat.
Yeah. No, next time we'll do it I don't want to.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that later.
But thank you. That was really fun.
That was
At least for me.
not for me. No. This is
thank you.
this was amazing. Honestly, this really was. I do want to do this though. I think we should really commit to doing this. I think we should do this like before I start my new life in my next job.
Why?
Because
Let's do before and after and during. It would be interesting to watch you.
maybe you need to fix me
evolve.
before I go to the new job. Like leave all that shit behind as I go into
Let's do this.
Bassel 2.0 or 3.0 or whatever I am. But anyway, thank
Let's
you
do
so
this.
much.
Thank you.
First of all, I'm sorry I kept you waiting in the beginning.
It's not your fault.
But this was amazing, well worth the wait, and we're gonna do another episode. So,
Definitely.
yeah.
Definitely.
I'm thinking if we should. Anyway, we'll talk about it. Thank you so much, Lahab.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.